Commissioner Barb McInvaille from Pierce County Superior Court. I am one of the co-chairs of the Becca Task Force, and here we are at our last day of what I think has been a wonderful week. And talk about ending on a high note. We have some marvelous presentations ready for today. So I want to have my co-chair introduce himself as well. And then I think both of us have maybe some brief remarks we want to make before we get started.
Yeah, I'm Glenn Hasslinger. I'm the educational co-chair for the Becca Task Force, and I'm a director here in the Bellevue School District. I'm super excited about today. It's been a great week so far, and I look forward to the rest of it. We'll note that today will look a little differently. If you've been on the previous days, we don't have our tracks. We're all going to be joining together for back-to-back sessions, and also want to make sure that Gina has her opportunity to share what she needs to share. So Gina.
Thank you, Glenn. Same message as the last couple days of the conference. This is your last chance to sign up for clock hours if you need educational credit for this conference. We have two links, one for CLE and CJE hours, which is professional development for legal professionals. I've just dropped that link in the chat. If you've already filled this out, you do not need to fill it out again. Once is good, we will be taking attendance. For educational clock hours, you can register at the link I am dropping in right now, which is at PD Enroller. Same thing, this is only once per the conference, and we'll be sending attendance to them as well to get those credits. Yeah, thank you so much, and back over to you guys, Barb and Glenn.
All right, before we get started with our presentation, Glenn and I wanted to just make some very quick remarks to everybody. And again, to first thank you all for attending. The Becca Task Force is such a wonderful organization, and we would expect it to be since CCYJ is such an amazing organization as well. I don't know how many of you out there are not Becca Task Force members. And in past years, when we've all been in person, we've been able to ask for a show of hands. But I just wanted to briefly tell you what the Becca Task Force does if you don't know. Our main mission really is working toward child welfare and juvenile justice systems to make sure that we're working with parents, advocates, service providers, policymakers to make sure that we are fostering these children, empowering our children, and doing for them what we need to do. And this organization is largely comprised, obviously, of educators. We have many people in our legislature who've come in and spoken to us in the past, and other state agencies. And we also have people from the court system as well. We have a large presence of great people who work in our juvenile justice system as well. So I know that our work is difficult. Everyone who is in this session does really difficult work, even without a pandemic. And so now with this pandemic, I think we had a presentation the first day that just really impacted me a lot, because she talked about how we need to take care of ourselves during times like this. That is really, I think, more serious and more stressful than perhaps a lot of us recognize and appreciate. And she talked about compassion fatigue. And I thought, with the work that everyone on this platform does every day, I hope you think about that. And I hope everyone thinks about taking care of ourselves, because when we do that, then it even empowers us to do even better and more work for the children who we're trying to serve. If you're not a member of the Becca Task Force, we urge you to please join. We have monthly meetings, and at those meetings, you'll have an opportunity to speak to some of our legislators who are working on issues that directly affect what you're doing. We have training sessions from people with the state agencies we work with OSPI. We have all kinds of fabulous people who come speak, and it's really turned into a wonderful collaborative group. And before I turn it back over to Glenn, I also wanted to thank Billy Hairston, Ellis Hazard, and Gina Terada for the work that they do, keeping this task force together. They worked together to organize this conference for everyone. And for 2 years in a row, I think they've hit the ball out of the park. And I want to thank them for everything that they do for us. None of us could do any of this without their assistance. Gina, if you could possibly put something in the chat box that could direct folks to how they can get involved with the Becca Task Force. I think we're seeing some questions about that now, and we would love to have anyone join us who's interested. So
Yeah.
thank you so much for attending.
Sorry.
Okay.
Absolutely. And anyone can join. So I'm going to put the email address in the chat, but you can email us at Becca, BECCA @ccyj.org. Just let us know you want to join the task force, or if you have other members of your team that want to join as well. Yeah, you're very much welcome, both on our mailing list and our meetings. We'd love to have you.
Well, I want to echo what Barb has said as well. I think as we've come across, I think we realized how difficult the pandemic was, or it has been and continues to be. And the coming back to in person, seeing each other again has really created a struggle for many of our students that we are working with. And they have had that challenge of being alone for a long time and now coming back together and figuring out what that really means. And so it's really important for us to also take care of ourselves so that we can help take care of them. I'm always reminded of the idea behind that when you're on an airplane, they always tell you to put your mask on first and then help those around you. And I think that's the same thing that goes with our mental health and helping others. If we're not taking care of ourselves, it really becomes difficult to take care of others as well who need it as much. So, and thank you also. And then we know that Billy and Gina and Ellis have done a fantastic work in pulling this all together. And also I know there have been others behind the scenes in CCYJ and helping monitor the individual breakout sessions that we've had over the last 3 days. And we want to thank them as well in putting their efforts in. And then everybody who's also shared and presented has been absolutely amazing and fantastic, and appreciate all the effort that has been going into this.